Man, do I remember when I was younger and the comic shops that would open for the little bit in my old hometown, I would come across this title, Namor the Submariner, and being, I was probably like 8 or 9 years old, maybe 10 at the time, I'd look at this and I'd be like, who cares? This is like Aquaman, he talks to fish, and that was my naivete. I wish I could go back in time and say, boy, you little turd, and just kick myself, because John Byrne's run on Namor is freaking fantastic. This is Namor the Submariner, issue 11. The print date on this was February 1991. Oh, man. Before we even dive into all this just uncomfortable awesomeness here, let's talk about who made the book. This is words and pictures by John Byrne, colors by Glynis Oliver, editor by Terry Kavanagh? Sure. Editor-in-chief Tom DeFalco, and The Submariner was created by Bill Everett. So we got some big names on this book. As you can see, we just get this really disjointed panels, and it's just absolutely fantastic. So let's dive in and see how the narrative enhances the visual and vice versa. It says, delirium. Time is at a joint. 1 minute slips into the next. 1 day into the last. Between an hour and a year, there is no distinction. And even though John Byrne set out on his own, you could very much see how him and Chris Claremont kind of have that same mind in terms of storytelling, because they worked together for so long. And that's why I enjoy reading it, because they both just kind of have that way of really drawing you into the story, thinking, what the hell is going on with Namor? And then we see that he is in this sort of like sauna, and the pain that he must be feeling right now. Desperately, the man the world knows as the Submariner tries to snatch a gem of sense from the images that whirl before his mind's eye. He fails. The mad parade of mixed and mingled memory continues unabated. So we see him as a child, and the animosity he starts to feel as he realizes that he is different, born both of Atlantean and ocean, or Atlantean and Earth people. And then we see how this man becomes like the uber mensch of the Nazis, and how FDR says, I need the 5 of you to form the leading edge of an invasion force that will carry this cursed war step right to Hitler's doorstep, to become the standard bearers who will show the world America is not afraid to fight. Mr. President, speaking for the others, I can proudly say we'd be proud to serve in any way we can. And now remember, we kind of remember that Namor sort of has that same attitude that Northstar has, just very pompous and pretentious. But here, I don't know if this guy right here is supposed to be FDR or if this is supposed to be Churchill, but they say, and you, sir, your father was an American citizen. For all your life, your allegiance has been with the people of Atlantis, Prince Namor. And then his mind says, Prince Namor. I stand with my fellows in the team you have named the Invaders. Captain America speaks for me. And so we kind of go back in time and see how these characters, this was the original Human Torch, which was an android. And I think his body was the one, wasn't it his body that created Ultron or something like that? But you can see how far back Namor has been with the world, being essentially Marvel's first mutant. We learn about this woman who becomes the blonde guy, Ubermensch, whatever his name is. She becomes the husband, and she gains this sort of like super soldier thing where she's almost immortal, but it comes at a cost. And while we're going through all these memories, we see that during the time that Namor was overseas, he lost sight of himself then. Like all these people are saying, who are you? Explain who you are. And the original Human Torch says, see how simple it is when you know how. I can control my flame to the width of a single hair. Wait, his face, it can't be. But it is. He is the Submariner. And we're still in Namor's mind, and he goes, Submariner. And so while you're kind of feeling twisted and disjointed in the story, it's like you're just right along with Namor. You don't know what the hell is going on. What time period? Are we in the past? Are we in the future? And it takes the Human Torch's wife to kind of shake Namor out of his dying haze. And then we come into the crux of the whole story where I said that these two, with their superpowers, it comes at a cost. They constantly have to be attended to. And so we come into the future. We find this guy that says he wants to take over the original work, and he's happy to meet two living legends. But the other thing that comes at a cost of the woman is she's just about psychopathic. And even her husband, who is a sociopath just like her, he is actually concerned for her. So at least there's kind of this human connect in a way. Not saying that we should feel sorry for her, but you can kind of at least have a deeper relationship with the villains as well, which is uncomfortable, but that's for good storytelling. The only time we can sort of tell it's in the modern time is when we cut away to this breakaway with Misty Knight and a build-up that's supposed to happen with the Iron Fist during this time period, which I do not want to spoil. If you guys want to know, go pick up this issue. And even though he's on the verge of death, my God, look at the way this artwork is portrayed to show how strong Namor is and how he can go to the limit if he needs to, even on the verge of death. All right, Rotsies, you and Herr Hitler think your master race is good enough to conquer the whole world? Let's see how you fare against a prince of Atlantis. And you can see that he's just been completely, depleted of water. But nonetheless, he is still one of the most strongest people in the world. And he's going to go down, not going to go down without a fight. This issue is absolutely amazing, and we don't really get any solid answers. It comes to an end, and we find out that Namor is actually hallucinating. And you're thinking, what the hell is going on? This book was awesome. It's enough to make me want to go try to physically hunt down issue 11. I found this one in a garage sale, but now I want to read the next issue. And that's what a comic book should do. So guys, if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost, go and support your local comic shop or wherever it is like to get your action figures and comics, and grab John Byrne's run on Namor, Fantastic Four, X-Men, anything that's John Byrne, you guys are going to have a good time with, especially his Man of Steel, time with Superman, and the Man of Steel, that first one before Louis Simonson's Man of Steel. Good stuff all around. And if you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you mind hitting that fancy little Atlantis bell, next subscribe. That way as you continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love talking with you and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or the socials, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.